So, Drew, while you make your way back into the video, you are going to bring your knees up. Now, oftentimes you'll see Amber or Drew doing a sideways version, and the whole concept is that you can see different angles to make sure you're doing it right. Now, one of the things that happens in this particular part of the warm-up is we'll go down to get the knee. I don't want that to happen. I want your knee to come up, and then I want you to hug it even further. Now, change that whole thing, guys, and let's flip it to a toe grab. So this is, we went from working the back of the legs and hip mobility there to working the front of the legs. Again, some people can't even grab their toes. They're just so tight. Sitting is obviously, we've talked about it, that sitting is the new smoking. All right, let's go to what's called a hip grab next. So in that hip grab, we are going to grab and pull up to our belly button, up to a belt buckle area. And as we do this, you're going to see that they are all working in their own range of motions. Some are tighter, some are looser. All right, if I could get everybody, Drew, you stay there, Amber and Kelly face front, and we are going to just get into a nice wide stance. And from here, we're going to drop into our left heel and drop into our right heel. As you watch this, you're going to see it's easier to watch Drew because he's sticking his butt back. Many people have been told, hey, I shouldn't lunge. Well, that might be true. However, if you do it correctly, it's arguably a physical therapy move. Lunging is an active movement. We're going to do this in the workout today. So let's keep that in mind. All right, I'm going to have all of them and you as well hop down onto the floor. And all I want you to do is get onto all fours, please. And as you get into all fours, all I want you to do is round your back up and arch, and then I want you to push your belly buttons to the floor. Now, again, this all seems silly, but especially here in Arizona, this is warming up at its best, okay? We're already breaking a sweat here. You might be too. Now notice, Amber has a lot of range of motion. She can get a very high rounded arch, and then she can get that belly way down. Drew has been working on this for a while, and while he's made strides, he's still, like most guys, a little bit tight. All right, I'm gonna ask you to do a tripod stretch. So Drew, why don't you face front for me? Amber will be my side, and you're gonna put your leg out to the side of your body. And as you do, you're gonna sit back onto your heel. As you sit back onto your heel, every time you come up, I want you to move your hands up 1 or 2 inches. Then I want you to slide that extended leg out another inch or 2, and then sit back down again. Great groin stretch, great glute stretch, great lower back stretch. Awesome way to wake up the body. I'm going to ask everybody to switch sides for me. All right, so as they switch sides, they're going to be careful not to kick each other, not to step on each other. Hopefully you have plenty of room. Now, you'll also notice when we do these in some of our other videos, we do them in another part of the gym where it's just one of the trainers. And that trainer is in a 6x6 box, so you don't need a lot of space. I remember we're sliding that foot out a little bit. You can point that toe to the ceiling. You might see some variety there. Can I get everybody to come back to child's pose? Now, if you're not familiar with yoga, child's pose is when you sit back on your heels and your hands get very far out in front of you. Now, Kelly's going to come up onto all fours. Amber and Drew are going to stay there, and they're going to take their right hand and put it in the small of their back. And they're just going to rotate and open up that shoulder. Now, you can do this from an all fours position, maybe a little bit easier while you're trying to watch us. And you can do it from a fully pressed out position where your chest hits the floor every time. I mentioned earlier on, as a lawyer, you guys are going to spend a lot of time reading and sitting. This is a great way to keep from having lower back problems and stiffness long term. Let's switch sides. If at any point you're ever curious, we're usually doing between 5 and 8 on each side. So Amber tends to be a little bit faster. Kelly tends to be a little bit slower. She likes to get a little bit of a deeper stretch. And Drew's just along for the ride, like we said. So as we open up that chest, we're doing great. I want to do one more thing. We're going to get back up onto all fours. And we're going to take this one more level up. Take your right leg up into half kneeling. So they're in a half kneeling position. They're going to put their palms on the floor. As they do, they're going to sweep their left hand all the way up to the sky, and they're going to try and stack their shoulders. Again, this is something that Drew has been working on. He played a lot of sports like football and lacrosse. Amber's a little bit more fluid. So he's built stocky. Amber is long and lengthy. So follow the one that works for you. That's pretty good on this side. Let's switch to the other side. So you're trying to keep your palms on the floor at all times. You might have your fingertips if you're not that flexible. Some of you might be going, how the heck am I even going to get my hands to the floor? Well, if that's a problem now, just doing this, you'll get better at it. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. This is simple stuff that you can do every single day. I'm going to ask all of you to wrap up that and stand up for me, and I just want you to do big arm circles right, big arm circles left. Very simple, we're warming up the shoulders. Why? Because one of the things that happens when people do at-home workouts and they don't have any equipment is a lot of trainers will just throw in tons of push-ups, tons of mountain climbers, and tons of burpees, and I don't want to do that today. I want to do something that will throw in some of that stuff, but it's not going to be like 4 exercises that we do 1,000 times. What I want to do, good, Kelly's doing some smalls, we're doing some doubles. We are going to set our interval timer today to go off 30 seconds of work, 15 seconds of rest. I'm going to take us through all of these exercises, 1 time through, 2 times through, then we'll take a break. Then we'll repeat them 1 more time. So, are you ready? You guys ready?
Ready.
All right. Amber, you're going to do dynamic. Kelly, you're going to do dynamic. You're going to do static. You're going to, yes. Kelly, you're going to do static as well because he's going to show side. All right, so get into a wide stance or get standing together, your choice. We're going to go into a lunge in 3, 2, 1. All right, you will notice that Amber is doing an alternating version where she steps out big. Kelly is doing a version where she is staying in a wide stance the whole time. And if you notice, just like in the ramp, Drew is set up so that he is nice and wide, and you can see how far he is moving his shoulder blades back, keeping them stacked over his hips and getting his butt back even more. We are going to end in 3, 2, 1. I'm going to ask Amber and Kelly to keep facing forward. Drew's going to do the sideways. We're going to do what's called an I, Y, and a T. It's important that we get bent over to this position. I'm then going to ask them to raise their hands up in a high, thumbs to the ceiling in a Y, and then up to a T. You guys start to do it with us as well. An I is when we go straight up overhead. You'll notice that Amber is working hard to not make her hands go behind her back. She goes out directly behind her sides. You can't see this, but Kelly is pushing her shoulders back towards her pockets. In doing that, she's not using her neck muscles, she's opening up her shoulder girdle. Posture is going to be a huge problem moving forward with all of our technology. 3, 2, 1. All right, we're now going to do a single leg RDL. Kelly, you are going to be my forward facing. You two are going to face each other. Now, a single leg RDL is definitely something that it requires some movement. Drew, I want you to do the balanced version. I want you to do the full version, Amber. So, as you see, Kelly's going to take a step forward so she has a little bit more room, and she's going to reach forward. Now, if we had a pole, and I will grab one right now, you will see that when Amber is in the extended position, her head and butt and foot are all in alignment, just like a pole. You're reaching out like there's something really expensive that you really want to grab in front of you. You're pushing back like you're trying to keep somebody away. But notice, Drew is doing a version where he has no balance. He can do them, but we wanted to show you that. All right, they're going to get on the floor for you, and everybody's going to get into a version that works for them. Now, I'm going to ask Drew to do a kneeling version. We're going to do 3 push-ups. Ready, set, go. 3 push-ups at whatever level you can, then get into a plank. And do 3 jumping jacks with your feet. Then go back to 3 push-ups. This way, nobody feels like they're not getting the workout that they can. Maybe you just need to do a plank. Maybe your core needs time to develop. Maybe you can do more push-ups and do 5 push-ups, 5 plank jacks. But you don't feel like you have to go 30 seconds straight and just jack up your neck. They're going to roll over onto their backs. Okay? Drew is going, Amber, you're going to show the forward version. We're going to do a glute bridge. So they're all going to lie down, okay? And they're going to bring their heels as close to their tailbone as possible. They're going to curl their toes up, and as we begin, they're going to drive their hips to the sky. Now, Amber and Kelly and Drew are all showing the harder version of putting their hands above them. Amber has now moved to putting her hands at her side. So if she needs a little help, she can use it. She can also put her hands across her chest, and she can also make sure that as she drives her hips, just like Kelly and Drew, it's like there's a grate between your butt cheeks and you're squeezing the juice out of the grate. If you ever put a grate between your butt cheeks, there's something wrong with it. All right, they're going to roll over. And I am going to ask Drew to do the static mountain climber, and Amber and Kelly can do whichever version of mountain climbers they want. So what does that mean? Get up into a plank in 3, 2, 1, and Drew is going to just take his right foot up and put it right next to his left hand, or the right foot next to his right hand, his left foot next to his left hand. So this is a slow mobility exercise. Amber and Kelly are doing a good job of doing the dynamic version. If you notice, Amber and Kelly have their hands directly underneath their shoulders. Too many times, people get their hands up above the top of their head, and they round their back and their butt is too high. 3, 2, 1, take a break. Everybody come on back up, and we're gonna go right back to the beginning. So everybody's gonna either get into a wide stance or do their dynamic lunge. Your choice. Ready? 4, 3, 2, 1, go. So, whether you're doing the dynamic moving one, or you're following Kelly and Drew doing the static one, it's great. Now, maybe you have some weights at home. You can hold some weights on your hands. Maybe you have a band. You can put your band on one side and hold it, and then, or you can do these 5 on one side, 5 on the other. I'm trying to show it with just body weight today so that everybody feels like there's something they can do and follow along. Now, after this, we're going to end in 3, 2, 1. We're going to go back to those I's, Y's, and T's. Now, I'm going to grab that pole again, and I'm going to come over by Drew, and Drew's going to get set up into position. Remember, we're going to bend over. Now, notice how the pole can touch his head, his shoulders, and his tailbone. Begin now. And he is staying in really good alignment here. Now, Drew, do me a favor, just stand up a little incorrectly, more than that, keep coming up. Now, notice that pole goes away. This is, if you don't have the ability to bend over completely, that's okay, but just know that that's something that you want to work on. Hinging at the hip is something that we will lose over time. Notice how they're pushing their shoulders into their pockets, their thumbs are pointing to the sky, and we're moving through things very well. All right, now we go to that single leg RDL. Now, I'm going to have Drew do the more dynamic one. I'm going to have Amber do the one where her toe's down, and Kelly's just going to take a step forward so she has a little bit of room. 3, 2, 1. Now, if you notice, Kelly's hands, she's like a pencil. Her hands are tightened together, and when her leg goes back, it's literally right behind her. You can't even see it. Are you alternating, Kelly, or are you just doing all on one side, all on the other? I didn't want to get you confused. She didn't want to get me confused. That's a good one. All right. Again, notice how Amber is moving in alignment with this pole. It seems like it should make a big deal, because that pole really helps a lot. All right. We are going to do those 3 push-ups and 3 plank jacks. Now, maybe you're in good shape and you can bang out 10 push-ups, 10 plank jacks. Good for you. Ready, set, go. All right. But maybe you need to work on this. Maybe, so on this next one, Amber's going to go to her knees, and she's going to do her 3 push-ups. She's keeping her hands right underneath her armpits. Notice how her butt doesn't go up separate from her shoulders. Then she's going to just come up off of her knees, and she's going to do a plank jack. Drew is keeping his plank jacks kind of short and narrow. Kelly's making them nice and wide. That gives her a little bit more of a wide berth. 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, they're going to roll over onto their backs. Now, I'm going to have Kelly get into whatever position she's in, and she is going to, everybody's going to bring their heels into their butt. These are those glute bridges, but she is going to hug her right knee. And 3, 2, 1, she's going to hug and go up. And she's going to do 5 on her right side and then 5 on her left side. Okay? That is a way that you can make this harder in this particular workout by focusing on doing one leg at a time. Okay? We are halfway. So Kelly, if you need to kind of go back to 3 and 3, you can do that. Notice that Drew, even for a guy, we have trouble doing this. He's getting a lot of height, which means he really knows how to fire his glutes. And we struggle with something called glute amnesia, which I'll tell you about next time. We're going to roll over. We're going to get into that mountain climber move. Now, just to give Kelly a break, I'm going to ask her to do the static ones where she does it as a stretch. Drew can get a little bit of his own workout in. I want to teach you about corkscrewing. Corkscrewing is when they push their hands into the ground and they're rotating their elbows towards their chin. That will kind of pack the shoulder in. And when you do that, you will see that it's a little bit easier on the shoulders, and then you can make it more of a cardiovascular move. 10 seconds. Now, Kelly is just really trying to drive those hips up, and then she lets them sink down to the floor. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I want everyone to take 45 seconds, grab your water, grab your towel. And now, I hope what you're seeing is that there are modifications for every level. So it's important that we do moves kind of like we're doing here. You're going to see in the second half of the workout, we're also going to do some moves that you're going to go, wow, I had no idea how tight my hips were or how tight my shoulders were. Now, I'm going to reset this timer, and we are going to go again. And we're just going to go through this workout 2 more times through exactly the same moves, and I'm going to give you more ways to make them a little bit harder and to make them a little bit easier if you're feeling tired. So, everybody in my room, let's get into some side lunge version. Ready, set, go. All right, I'm going to let them do what they want. I want them to get their workouts too. So, Amber's doing something very dynamic. She's trying to speed that puppy up. Kelly is really getting deep into that. Drew has got a huge stretch out of those arms. There's tons of ways to do this. And if you notice, if you keep your weight on your heels, you will not feel any pain in your knees. A lot of people complain about knee pain when it comes to lunges. It's probably because someone hasn't taught them how to do that well. All right, we're going to go to those eyes, Y's, and T's. Eyes, Y's, and T's. Remember, we're hunched over. We're up, we're out, and we're side. And at all times, there's none of this. You shouldn't feel like you're stuck in your neck. Ready, set, begin. All right, so as we do this, it is not meant to be done fast. Right now, I want Amber to imagine I am pushing her shoulders down towards her hips. And as I do that, you can really tell a difference of how she doesn't feel her neck and her jaw just getting tight. Kelly has had a few neck surgeries, so for her, it's really important she learns how to isolate her shoulders out. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Shake it out. Just kind of relax. Shake it out. Now, remember, on those RDLs, if you don't have balance, you can just stay here and work on sticking, I'll show it the other way, sticking the butt cheek back on the side that's straight and getting those hands out. You'll be shocked at how good that is for you, but either way, you got to start now. All right, now, maybe you can't get that leg up very high. Okay, notice Drew's a little bit front and center. Drew, take a step back behind that line towards Kelly so they can see your feet. There we go, perfect. So he is feeling that in the side closest to you at home because that's the side that stays straight. You might have the question, can my knees be bent? As long as they're soft and not active, meaning you're not using them. All right, so now we go into that thing. Are we going to do just a plank this time? Are we going to still add some push-ups? Kelly's going to be my knee push-up girl this time. I made Drew do it. I made Amber do it. It's Kelly's turn. So you can. She just grabbed a towel. She's just kind of got them underneath her knees, and she's going to do those. Now, you want to bang these out and just do all push-ups for 30 seconds because you're a badass? I love that. Go for it. All right? If you want to mix it up, hey, this is just a great way to get some cardio into those push-ups. And just so you know, this is not something that we're going to fry you out. We're not trying to kill you. All right, keep going, 8 seconds. All right? You have the ability to get one more of each. You might be slowing down, and that's okay. Keep going, and take a break. All right, we're going to go into those glute bridges. So, do you want to try the single leg version? Do you want to try to do, I'll have Amber do our long-legged version. So legs straight up, and she goes up and down, and then she just literally switches. So you might notice that by that, you might have a little bit more of a harder workout. Hey Drew, why don't we show the figure 4 version? So here's another version, if you're watching Drew, where he just does 2 or 3 on one side, then he's going to switch and do 2 or 3 on the other, where he sits like you might sit on a conference table. And he's going to get a huge stretch through doing that. 3, 2, 1, and we are going to do mountain climbers. And as we do those mountain climbers, we're going to roll over, and they can do any version they want. Okay? So can you. I would recommend, if you haven't tried the static version, 3, 2, 1, go. If you haven't tried the static version, try it. Amber, would you just show the static version just to remind them at home, where you bring your foot all the way up to your hand, and you get more of a stretch? Amber, you can go back to your workout if you want. Good. You gotta be even. You gotta be even. Nice. All right, 10 seconds. And then I've got some good news for you. So keep going, good. See, Drew needed a quick little stretch. All he did was pike out of it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, so the good news is that I promised I would keep this workout to 45 minutes. So that's gonna be the last round of this first section. I'm gonna let them take a second to get some water. I'm gonna let you guys take a quick towel break, and I want you guys at home to do the same thing. Now, as you're doing is I want to take a second and I want to show you what the next grouping of moves is going to be. All right. Now you might have noticed there was a lot of stuff in there that was challenging, but it was also movement oriented. How can you move better? So the very next one that we're going to do is we did side lunges. So now all we're going to do is we're going to do a forward lunge into a reverse lunge. And then we're going to switch sides. Forward lunge into a reverse lunge. And this is going to teach you how to stay on the heel of the leg that you're working. Then we're going to go into what's called an inchworm with a mountain climber stretch. So that's why I asked you all to make sure you at least try it. We're going to bend over and get as close to the floor as possible. We're going to take 10 to 12 steps, or maybe 8 or 9 steps, whatever. We're going to come out into an inchworm. We're going to stretch, stretch, and then we're going to walk our way back up. Now you might come all the way back up, or some of you might get lightheaded doing that, so just stay down there. Then we're going to do something called a kneeling squat. Drew, would you just get 3 pads for you guys? Now, if you don't like what I'm about to show you, you can just do normal squats. But what I'm going to teach you is you're going to kneel down, stand up, stand up. Kneel down, stand up, stand up. You'll be surprised at how challenging that is, and we can make it a little bit harder. Then we're going to do what's called skater hops. We're going to come across and come across. I'll give you some options if that's not great or you don't have a lot of room where you are. Then we're going to do an alternate side plank. I'm a big fan of doing elbow planks. So when you do an alternate side plank with us, I'm going to ask you to put your hands like this. So when you get into position, your feet will be shoulder width apart. And then you're literally going to roll over onto your side and act like you're elbowing somebody right behind you. And then you're literally going to switch, bam. And as you do that, you find an easier way to stay out of your neck and engage your core more. After that, we're going to do what's called a hamstring walkout. So, Drew and Amber are going to have a toy that you might be able to find, and I'll talk you through that. But Kelly's going to be in the middle where I am. And a hamstring walkout is where you step out from a glute bridge. You can step out with multiple steps, or you can just do a step tap. So we'll teach you that as well. We'll do the same thing, 30 seconds work, 15 seconds rest. We'll do 2 rounds in a row, take a break, and then we will come back and do the other one last round before we stretch and take you through a full body stretch at the end. So take that last sip of water. Take a quick towel off like me. All right, we're back. So we are going to start off with reverse lunge, forward lunge, alternating sides. Let's get ready to begin in 3, 2, 1, hit it. All right, notice Drew is showing the sideways version. Sorry, Amber. It's all good. They're doing 1 lunge to the front, 1 lunge to the rear on each side. Now, in the 3rd round, I'm going to show you how to max that out if you have a lot of juice in the tank. Good. Notice that you might be getting toe heavy. Try and stay on the heel of the foot that lands in front and the foot that stabilizes in the middle. Stay on that heel. All right, we're moving to that inchworm mountain climber. Drew and Kelly are going to show the sideways version. Amber's going to go forward towards you. Notice how their feet are shoulder width apart. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, if you're watching the first one so you know what to do, Drew is just kind of doing that same mountain climber, and then he's going to walk his hands back. We're just doing 1 mountain climber on each side, Drew. Good, walking back, and then walking out. There we go, looks good. I like it a lot, Keep going. You will notice that they are moving quickly, but just so that they can move their hands out in front of them with some expedience. 3, 2, 1. Guys and gals, you might want to grab your knee pad. Now, if you don't have this at home, just a towel's fine. If you've got carpet underneath you, you really won't need this. Now, Amber's going to do the lunge version. Kelly, would you please face the camera and do the sideways version? And Drew's just going to go ahead. So, Kelly straddles the mat and does her squats and lunges, kneeling that way. Amber does it from a lunge position. So she steps out in front of the pad. You also will see that Drew is doing the same version as Kelly. That is a feel thing. There's no right or wrong. I would recommend that you try them both because you might like one over the other. And in that case, you want to kind of make sure you mix those up because you don't always do what you like. Sometimes you have to do what you need. All right. You can use those pads, you guys, to use as something to guide you on your hop over, or you can just get it out of the way if you're going to go big. So whatever you want to do, and we are going to do our skater hops. Now, you might want to watch Amber do because Amber tries to take out the whole room. Amber thinks she's Apollo Ono, and she just has these legs that go for days. She doesn't even stay on the screen. Kelly is doing a great job. She plays a lot of tennis, so she is trying to move in a pattern that is very similar to her having to get to a ball. Drew's going for height. He's trying to get very high like he's jumping over a hurdle. They all are going to pay the price for this by round 3 because they are kicking their own butts right now, which is usually the results of great. All right, we're going to get into that alternate side plank. Now, if anybody wants to do the push-up version, you are welcome to it. I do need one of you. Amber's going to show the elbow version. Thank you. Okay, so it doesn't matter. Good. Drew's going to show the push-up version. So the push-up version is just the same thing, except he's not going down to his elbows. Whether you're doing push-ups or elbows, notice how their shoulders are stacked. Okay, Kelly is getting her hand directly up over her elbow, which is over her shoulder, which is over her other elbow and shoulder. Good. We are not rushing through this. This is not something you're trying to plow through. Not that you have a mirror close by, but if you feel like your butt is up in the air, you're probably doing something wrong. Let's just roll over onto our backs. Okay? Now, Drew has got a couple of sliders. As he has those sliders, I'm going to show them to you. Okay, Kelly and Amber, will you go sideways for me?
Yes, go sideways.
Either way.
Okay.
All right. So, there we go. So, Kelly is doing, you're fine. Kelly is doing a little bit more of a walk. I'd like her to do a tap just so she doesn't step on Amber. So, what does Drew have? He has these little sliders. Now, sometimes when we do this and people are at home and they have a wood floor, you can just do this in your socks, or you can do it with a paper plate. But he's just showing the slider version, which is kind of fun. And we can do that with mountain climbers and some of the other moves as well. Another good investment for just $10. All right, that is the end of that round. So they're all going to get up, and they're going to get ready to do those lunges again. I'll cue you through all of them. You watch whoever does the one that you want to follow along with. 5, 4, 3, 2, and begin. Now, as you go forwards and backwards, if you had weights at home, you can hold weights on this one, okay? Very easy to make a lot of these moves harder if you have some toys. But we wanted to show a workout that had absolutely 0 toys. Nice job. Shoulders are stacked. Notice when Drew goes forward, the side view is very evident that his head is over his hips and his hips stay right in between his stance. We are moving to those inchworms with a mountain climber. Inchworms with a mountain climber. Now, maybe that mountain climber is just a little bit too hard for you at this point in the workout. Just do the inchworms then. Ready, set, and begin. So we're going to go out into a full plank. Now, Drew, on this next one, will you go out to a very extended arm version? So as he gets into the position, he's going to actually go, but he's not going to do the mountain climber this time. That's just a core version. Come on back in. Much harder. I just wanted him to show one of those so you could see it. He likes to stand up all the way. Some people don't like to come up. Kelly's working hard. I can already tell just from being married to her that her shoulders are packed in. All right, we're done with those inchworms, and now we're going to do those kneeling squats. Drew, would you do me a favor? Don't kneel. Just do a squat. Amber, will you do a pulsing squat? Okay. Kelly, will you do a kneeling squat? Okay, so I'm going to have them show a couple of versions. So Drew's just doing a basic squat, okay? He's doing a squat where he's trying to get as low as possible below a short chair, or kind of like toilet height. Amber is not going all the way up, and she's not going all the way down. She's just doing this pulse version, and then Kelly's showing the one we showed the first time. All of them are keeping their weight on their heels. Amber's going for a little bit more of an aerobic or a metabolic version. Drew is going more of a stretch version, and Kelly's right in the middle. Take a break. Skater hop time.
Yes.
Now, what I would like is
Stay out of my way, Amber.
because Amber has to kind of get herself into mega zone. Drew, you're going to switch with me. You're just going to jog in place. All right? Now, let's say you don't like the big movement. He's just kind of stalling here, all right? Now, if he wanted to, or I wanted him to, I'd make his knees get higher. But for right now, I just want him to just jog in place. Maybe you don't have the room. Maybe you might slip because of the flooring. So jogging in place, fake jump roping, another great one. Just kind of pretending that you are doing jump rope. Another great version for something that you can do that will be metabolic, get your heart rate up, but you don't feel like you're getting your butt worked. All right, we're doing those side planks again. Now, if for any reason at all, you feel like you're gassed, you're a little tired, this is a great one where you can just do a plank, okay? 3, 2, 1. I'm going to ask Drew just to do a plank for me. Now, in doing that, what you can't see that I'm going to coach you through, his butt cheeks are squeezing tight, like he's trying to hold a pencil in there. His core, if I push down on him, I'm pushing pretty hard and I'm not getting any give. He's not falling into his belly. He's pushing and he really feels engaged. The side bridge, we got Kelly who is going off the reservation and adding a leg lift because that's what Kelly does. And then we're going to go into our hamstring walkouts. Now, I am going to ask Amber to do just, you can do slides. So Amber's going to do the slides as well. All right, again, very simple version. She is doing an alternating. Drew is showing a couple where he has got both legs going out. Now, I'm going to ask Amber, if you would, because you're doing the alternating version, put your hands up over your chest. If you at home want to see how tight your core is and what's called your posterior chain, try putting your hands in the air while you do this. And you will notice very quickly whether you have a tight core or at least one that can protect you in a fall. Everybody, take a break. That's the end of round 2, right?
Yep.
So what does that mean?
Last round.
Break. All right, so we are on our last round here. We're going to take a short break and we're going to do one more round of this so that we have time to stretch. I wanted this to be a 45-minute workout, so it's something that you can ramp up and you can work every single one of these exercises at its hardest level, or we have versions so that you can take it down and say, hey, you know what? I am going to be in this job for 4 weeks. Could I be in better shape at the end of starting here than when I got here? That's one of the great things about fitness and exercise is that if you can make a difference, everything adds on to each other. So it's very easy to feel like you're going to do a great job if you just devote just a little bit of time every day. All right. Apparently Amber's got ants in her pants. She is ready to go. Kelly is giving me that I live with you, and this is that look of I've got stuff to do. So reverse lunge, forward lunge, ready, set, go. All right, Kelly, you're the one who wanted to be crazy here. So stand in the middle, face Drew, and I want you to do a jump lunge. So she is doing the power version. She has got her weight on her heels, and she's jumping straight up and down. You need a little push. There it is. I can promise you that this is something that you will love if you need that little extra burn to say, all right, I've only got 6 more minutes of working out. I'm just going to push it as hard as I can so I earn that extra beer or that extra glass of wine. Take a break. Inchworms, add the mountain climber stretch. Don't add the mountain climber stretch. Just work on the inchworms. Hey, Drew, I want you to do me a favor, and I want you to just kind of bend over as if you couldn't touch the floor. So let's say you can't get to the floor. Well, so Drew, just kind of get your hands all the way out here and do your walkout. Those of you who have no problem, I'm just teaching people who might be tight. Drew, just come back halfway. Go back out again. This is a great way to work into it, to kind of find your halfway. We've already taught you how to do it properly and all the way through, and we've taught you how to make it a mobility move. We've taught you how to make it a harder move. This is all stuff that you can throw in and you can do at your leisure. 3, 2, 1. All right, time for Amber, Drew, you may do whatever squats you want. If you want to show again what we did the first time, you go right ahead. If you want to do pulsing squats, Kelly, you're in there too. Anything you want to do. We're doing some sort of squats, everybody at home. Okay? Whatever version that is for you. We showed a kneeling squat. We showed a basic squat. We showed a pulsing squat. Kelly and Drew are showing if we're going to make it more of a pillar squat, where their hands are behind their head, stacking their body perfectly. It doesn't seem like that should be difficult, but I can promise you, adding in just that little bit will change up your posture for good. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, we're going to go into those skater hops. Again, you choose what you need to do, but all I want you to do is be breathing heavy at the end of this bell. We're going to go all the way through, and you're not going to quit early. Ready, set, 3, 2, 1, hit it. All right, let's go. Come on. I want to see you guys moving. Whatever that is for you, you just give it your best shot, okay? You're going to go all the way to the bell. Now, I say this in all of our videos. Don't do bad reps, all right? If you are tired, go slower, but don't stop or quit. If you need to ratchet it down, that's fine. But don't go so fast that your form suffers, because if that's the case, you're really not going to like the end result. 5 seconds left. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Finish strong, finish strong. There we go. All right. So they earn the right to get back on the floor. We're going to get into those planks. You can do just a basic plank, okay? You can do an elbow plank. We're going to teach an RKC plank. You want to do that, Drew? All right, Drew's going to do an RKC plank. Now, what does that mean? So what you'll notice is that Drew started to, let's start again. Starts with his hands a little bit above his elbow, his head, and now pull. And now he engages. All right, and remember when I told you that I couldn't push on him and push down? Well, that's because I really pushed him to the limit. He has got an absolutely solid core right now. His glutes are engaged, and he is really digging in. Amber and Kelly are doing their side planks. They're adding leg lifts, but they're doing them well. Take a break, and guess what? We have one more move, and then we're going to stretch. So that will make all of you very happy, I'm sure. All right, here we go. We're doing our hamstring walkouts. We're doing our, again, if this is something that's tough for you, a lot of guys struggle with this because they don't have the ability to not cramp. All right, guys are tight in their hamstrings. All right, then just do the glute bridge. But work on it, okay? Especially those of you living here in Phoenix. You guys need to learn about drinking a lot more water. All right, we have to drink a lot of water here in Phoenix. 4, 3, 2, you're almost done. All right, so here's the deal. You at home, stay right there. Stay right there. You guys, just stay right there. All right, if your water's close, just grab it. Amber drank all of her water, so she doesn't get any. Nope. She should have learned, but she's been in Phoenix a long time, so she knows. She drank all of her water, and now she's going to start to sing. All right, so here's all I want you to do. I want you to lie down on your back. If you can, make sure that the video is close to you so you can watch us. All right? All I want is for you guys to put your legs straight out on the floor and point your toes to the ceiling. And I want you to take your right leg and I want you to bring it up as high as you possibly can. And then I want you to go back down. And I just want you to do this 5 or 6 times on each leg. Okay? Now, some of you are going to go, I can't do this. So what does that mean? Well, let's look at Kelly for a second. Kelly's got a slight bend in her knee, nothing wrong with that. But she can get her foot past her belly button and even up over her chest. Drew, typical guy, been working on this for a while, but he gets stuck right about his hips, and then his belt buckle is barely in reach. All right, now what I'd like you to do is we're going to take this move and turn it into a hip hug. So imagine you're on the ground, and if you can see me, they're just literally going to grab their foot and pull it up to their belly button, and they're going to hold. They're literally holding. Now, you might see that you're trying to push your back of your other knee to the floor. You want to make that extended toe. You can't really see it from where you are, but I am making sure Amber's toe is pointing to the sky. Let's hold that for 3, 2, 1, and let's switch sides. I'm going to ask all of my team to roll over onto their bellies. And as they're on their bellies, I'm going to ask them to reach behind and grab their shoelaces. Are you stuck
I
here?
don't know how to train.
Now,
You knew where the belly was. Yeah.
so all of my team are overachievers, and so they all grab both their toes. But Amber's gonna help me out, and she's gonna let one of them back down because a lot of you are not gonna be able to do that, and that's okay. All right. If you can't grab both of your toes, which I didn't ask any of these people to do,
You're so silly.
we do each side for 15, 20 seconds. If you're gonna do them both, good for you. That's awesome. But a lot of people can't do that. I know how hard that is. I would like everybody to get into a position where they are sitting crisscross applesauce. All right, as they do crisscross applesauce, they're going to take their hands behind their head. You're not going to notice it with Kelly and Amber as much, but you'll notice now they're going to lean forward. Now, Drew is only going to get so far before he feels like he needs to round. Okay? Amber can get a lot further. She's more flexible through her hips, and Kelly's right in the middle. Okay? Now, some of you are probably going, good God, I can barely do this. Sit back up. Most people, when they do crisscross applesauce, they do the same. So now switch your legs up the other way, and you will be shocked at how you're like, wow, I didn't know my body did that. Hopefully, you guys did a workout that was appropriate for you. If you needed to ratchet it back a little bit, great. When we ramped it up, if you were able to hang with us, also great. We're really glad to have been here with you. Good. I'm going to ask you guys to come up and put your legs straight out in front of you. You're going to reach on down and grab your toes or get as close to it as you can get. Good. So, Drew, I want you to show it in case you can't grab your toes, because a few weeks ago, Drew could not grab his toes. This was the only way he could do it, was by using his towel. Then there's Kelly, who's showing off and tying her shoes while she grabs her toes. That's what we have here, results on the fitness. You guys, would you please come up to a standing position? I would like you guys to just take a big circle with your right arm, and I mean big. Like you are trying to absolutely push your hands out in front of you, then get it as high to the sky as you can, and then very far behind you. I want to thank Amber, Kelly, and Drew for helping me out here.